Major companies like Microsoft, Walmart, and Business Insider are laying off employees amid the rise of artificial intelligence in the workplace.
So the idea that they might overtake us quite soon suddenly became much more plausible.
Well, the CEO of Anthropic is saying this could be 1 to 5 years when we see some sort of wipeout of entry-level positions. So this is obviously the big debate, is how soon. I think no one really is questioning at this point that this is going to happen. It's really just a question of sooner or later.
So if you read one of Amazon's blog posts, it says we need to be leaner and more flexible. People have more authority over their role in anticipation of the disruption AI is going to bring.
I assume we will figure out completely new things to do. We seem to really be very wired to care about other people. We don't worry that much about the world of machines. We're very focused on other people. And so I don't know exactly what the new jobs will be, but I bet they'll be very people-centric.
Sam Altman, the founder and the CEO of OpenAI, thinks that humans will figure out what to do when AI does take over. Yes, the same company that now runs your day in and out queries had started with a non-profit benefit all human goal in 2015, later realized that whoever controls the most compute and capital will control the AI progress. And hence, when their non-profit experiment gradually started exploding in a way no tech had ever seen before, at that point, money and capital stopped being optional. After all, an AI prompt does take 100 times more energy than a Google search. So to continue the experiment, the goal of benefiting humanity, AI at this scale can't survive on just good intentions alone, right? If AI is meant to benefit all of humanity, but only a few can afford and build and run it, who is this future really being built for? Welcome back to Angel One Economics. My name is Utsari, and today we record how AI is quietly reshaping the world and what it means for our future of work. We will break this video down into two parts. First, we explore what happens to the world in the next 10 years. Are we heading to a super intelligent model that is more evolved, trained, mannered, and smarter than us? If so, what happens next? How do we spend our days as humans? Does AI make us extinct? Or do we just figure out what to do next, like Sam says? Then we will see what the future of Indian job market looks like and where does India lie in the AI landscape. Let's first get two things out of the way. First is that AI is killing jobs, and the second is that AI economy is a bubble waiting to burst. This isn't me, this is data, and I will explain both of these to you in simple words, but there are more million-dollar questions we are currently standing on, like, when do we know that AI is actually doing more harm than good? And who is controlling AI? The 0.01% of the Silicon Valley or the national governments? Can we trust either? Who do we trust so much power with? And lastly, can a developing country like India, which is seeing drastic increase in AI capacity investments, can sustain the plunge without concentration of power and wealth in a fewer hands? There are three parts of AI we need to keep an eye out for: intelligent AI, autonomous AI, and general AI. It is safe when it is intelligent and smart in one specific thing. For example, knowing the Constitution of India end to end, or reading a book in a day and summarizing it to you. Basically, remembering just one specific thing. Next is when it is both intelligent and autonomous. At this stage, it is learning a lot. It knows how to drive cars. Driving is a very complex thing that humans do. It takes a lot of efforts by the humans. So it understands the mechanism to drive cars and is good at one thing, which is driving. But then comes general intelligence, when it knows everything, unpredictably everything. We are getting closer to general intelligence day by day with the LLMs. Imagine how often you turn to ChatGPT or Gemini for asking everything under the sun. And like it or not, they are getting better at it day by day, prompt by prompt, by you. AI 2027 is a report by scientists and researchers in AI Forecast and the future of AI regime. It basically asks, if the current trends continue, what are the two different futures we could end up with? The first forecast is the optimistic one. In this version, AI keeps improving rapidly, but humans stay meaningfully in the loop. AI helps researchers write codes, test ideas, and speed up discovery. But final decision or deployment or governance remains to human beings. Governments step in with early coordination, safety rules, and limits on reckless competition. Job changes fast, but society adapts through reskilling. new roles, and policy support. Now, AI becomes a powerful tool, unequal, disruptive, but manageable. The second forecast is the worst one. It is the pessimistic path. Here, AI doesn't just assist research, it starts automating AI research itself. Because it mutates into bigger AIs, basically self reinforcement. Companies and countries race to outbuild each other because falling behind feels existential. Human oversight can't keep up with the speed. Decision making concentrates among those who control compute and data and models. Human workers starting with white collar jobs and knowledge jobs are displaced, first with entry level, faster than economies can absorb them. Now, power centralizes before the society has time to respond. Larry Ellison, the longtime CEO of Oracle, talks about AI powered surveillance. Not something to fear, but something to embrace. He believes that when governments combine AI with cameras, databases, and real time analytics, society has become more efficient, more predictable, and more orderly. In his worldview, AI can watch everything: traffic, crime, public behavior, financial activity. And when people know they are being observed by intelligent systems, they simply behave better. What's important is what he doesn't worry about, which is privacy erosion. He assumes that efficiency and safety due to AI outweigh the individual freedoms. Guys, imagine that if AI becomes powerful enough to watch you, watch everyone all the time, or predict behavior and enforce rules automatically, who gets to decide what is good behavior? Because at that point, AI doesn't just reshape jobs, it reshapes power itself. Now let's understand what is funding AI to reach the scale. In 2025 to 26, many AI startups are securing very large funding rounds with minimal revenue. For example, look at the latest news on Anthropic. It is planning to raise another $10 billion in its next round of funding. Previously raised $15 billion, already valuing itself at more than $350 billion, which is nearly double of its valuation 4 months back. And all of this while its revenue run rate and profitability remain far below it. Now, this industry is so bullish that recently, when NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang highlighted the huge demand for memory and storage hardware, the shares of the companies selling such hardwares like SanDisk, Seagate, Western Digital have soared up to 45% within a few days. That's crazy, right? This is just a scratch on the surface of the bubble. According to Harvard, the first half of US GDP growth was at only 0.1% if you exclude investments in data centers and AI tech, while the output that this industry produced was only 4% of the total GDP. That means that the AI bubble isn't just growing inside the stock market, but the whole US economy. Databricks CEO Ali Ghodsi, also the leader of a major AI or data firm, said this, and I quote, "Even the investors fueling this AI frenzy are aware of the unsustainable nature of the market." Meaning, a lot of money is chasing companies that have huge valuation but zero real revenue. Many of these big valuation AI companies are living off the circle capital flows rather than the sustainable business models. And all of this is because of one belief, that whoever controls intelligence today is the real breadwinner. So here's a thought for you to drop in the comments below. If everyone is trusting the process of AI, who is actually responsible if the process breaks? And at what point does building this intelligence stop being progress and start becoming the actual risk? Honestly, if you ask me, I love AI. It makes my life so much easier. It is like a cheat code, a productivity upgrade to summarize, to research, to ideate, to delegate the repetitive tasks, all of it. I mean, with my hypothetical lifespan of, I don't know, 70 years, I would like to believe that there is no super intelligence apocalypse happening, or even if it does, humans will figure it out, like Mr. Altman says. But here's the most uncomfortable and inevitable part of AI in the short run: job loss, layoffs. AI bots replacing humans. What happens to so many years of education? The first time earners, what happens to the people moving from informal to formal work? If you look at India, our growth model was simple. Global companies outsourced work to India because human labor was cheaper and scalable. But now, companies can scale without adding people. In 2025 October, Salesforce announced the reduction of 4,000 jobs in customer support due to the greater reliance on AI agents. You'll find multiple such headlines every other week. HR jobs, analysts, consultants, service jobs, banking jobs. It's like AI is climbing up the career ladder. Now let's watch this again.
In the long term, like every other technological revolution, I assume we will figure out completely new things to do.
It is like every other tech revolution. This is where Altman might have gotten wrong with logic, don't you think so? Steam engines, electricity, computers, even the internet, all of them made humans more productive. They changed how we worked, but they did not replace us. They did not replace our judgments. A computer still needs an operator. Software still needs people to think, decide, and act. And AI breaks that pattern. For the first time, we are building a technology that doesn't just assist human intelligence, it competes with it. I say it again, it competes with it. This is exactly what many economists, including the godfather of AI himself, has said. Huge job losses, inevitable, right? In fact, a report called The Intelligence Curse, written by AI scientists, says the same thing. Most organizations and entire economies are structured like pyramids. First, AI replaces entry-level tasks, basic analysis, customer support, reporting, junior coding, routine HR. Then it attacks the mid-level roles, which is the analysts, the consultants, the managers, and finally, it replaces them all and attacks the people in the C-suite, the strategists, the executives, the CEOs. Because don't forget, AI keeps learning more and more, prompt by prompt, every day. And it won't be a surprise if you see a one-person unicorn like Sam Altman famously puts it. According to data from Center of Advanced Studies in India, over 60% of formal jobs in the country are susceptible to automation by 2030. And that's risk number one, job displacement. Further challenge is in the fact that those in the informal sector, which is about 400 million Indians, have little access to formal training. Next is the lag in India's AI talent pipeline. We have computer science education only in some schools, whereas in China and Russia, computer science is mandatory at primary and secondary levels. India produces fewer than 500 AI-related PhDs annually, lagging behind the countries like China, US, and even smaller economies. The Indian AI talent demand is expected to grow at a rate of 25%, while existing talent is only growing at 15%. That's a huge lag. The third lag is AI research and patent applications. India's share of granted AI patents fell from 8 to 10% in 2010 to under 5% in 2023. And nearly 44% of India's top AI researchers work abroad, encouraged by better funded labs and clearer career paths. In short, India risks becoming an AI consumption economy, using intelligence built elsewhere while bearing the employment and inequality costs at home. But we shall stay hopeful because that's the only option we have. Global companies are betting real money on India's AI future. Google is making its largest investment outside of the US. A $15 billion AI data center project in Vishakhapatnam in collaboration with the Adani Group. Reliance Industries, alongside Canadian and US partners, is committing another $11 billion to develop AI infrastructure in the same region in Vishakhapatnam. Now, companies like OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic have all signaled plans to expand operations in India. By 2030, just 4 players, which is Airtel, Reliance, Adani, and TCS, are expected to control around 40% of India's total data center capacity. And the economics explains why. Building 1 megawatt of data center capacity in India costs about 60 to 70 crore rupees, making it one of the cheapest places in the world to build AI infrastructure. GPU compute, the lifeblood of AI, costs around $3 to $15 per hour in the US and Europe. But in India, it costs $1.36 per GPU hour. That's not just competitive, it is disruptive. But guys, remember when I said that AI prompt uses 100 times more energy than Google search? Data centers are physical resource-hungry machines. India's data center power consumption is projected to grow nearly 5 times by 2030. Water is an even big bottleneck. Many facilities are concentrated in cities like Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, places already facing severe water stress. Communities living next to Meta's large data centers in Georgia, US, is already facing so much of water scarcity and contamination. So now, there is the energy question. India's power grid is still around 70% coal-based. Most data centers rely on diesel generators for backup, and only a handful of states offer dual grid reliability. But this is the real picture. India is attracting AI capital. India is building AI infrastructure, but the hardest part isn't compute or money. It is whether we redefine this into opportunity without increasing the gap of inequality and inequity. Don't you think so? Lastly, I would really want to end this video in a much optimistic manner, reiterating what Larry Ellison said, that in an AI-powered world, which we have established as inevitable, by the way, surveillance makes societies more efficient, safe, and predictable, because when people know that they are being watched by intelligent systems, they behave better. For example, cameras in traffic signals. That's not dystopia. That's progress, right? But here's where the pessimism kicks in, guys. This system works best when power is centralized and efficiency is prioritized over consent and accountability flows in one direction. So some human has to be in the top, right? Or not? Some super intelligent at the top, you see? We all know how that ends in sci-fi movies. Ellison doesn't ask the right questions. He doesn't ask who decides. He already thinks that the entity sitting at top is legitimate.
The idea that they might overtake us quite soon suddenly became much more plausible.
The godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, has himself said that job loss is the least of the worries. He's warned us that highly intelligent AI systems may develop goals misaligned with human values, and that once they surpass us, we may not be able to rein them back in. If AI is powerful enough to reshape jobs, behavior, and governance, and cheap enough to be deployed everywhere, then the future won't be decided by how intelligent AI becomes, but by who gets to decide how that intelligence is used. The government or the AI tech bros in the Silicon Valley? That's not a technical question, that's a political one. And long before AI, someone warned us about unchecked power and constant surveillance. George Orwell wrote in 1984, "Big Brother is watching you." Not as a prophecy, but as a caution. Because the most dangerous systems aren't the ones that watch us. They are the ones we stop questioning. And that is the question that AI era forces all of us to confront. That's it from my side, everyone. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. We do a lot of research for our videos. So if you did like, drop a comment on which video, which decode you would like to see next. And hit like, share, and subscribe. And see you in the next one.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.